Alrighty, guys. Taking a look at another World Tournament unit here from the last World Tournament. Kale, of course, Kale and Khalifa, they were two World Tournament reward cards that came out back in 2019, 5 years ago, who are finally now getting their awakenings. I feel like this Kale could be potentially a decent character. Like, I mean, she doesn't look like she'll be too bad. I think maybe, you know, we toss her with a full dodge build, and maybe, possibly, potentially, maybe, Kale could potentially be useful. If we take a look at what she does, she is a support that stacks, for Universe 6 and Pure Saiyan. So, I mean, I know stacks sound, oh, stacks, whoa-wee, but she stacks attack and defense, which means it's only a 20% stack and not a 30% stack, which is going to be kind of a big deal. It's a full dodge character for sure. I went full dodge with a little bit of additional. Obviously, you guys can see I did not go for my very best equips, but I think that this Kale maybe potentially could have a little bit of use at times. I do want to take a look at Kale on a 200% team, but she is unfortunately, I mean, if we take a look at it, let's look at her 200% here. So we have Jiren, who's not out, and Dokkan Fest Kale. So, I mean, again, Jiren is, not out. So, I probably will just go to Twitter, and ask people to set a Kale, please. Probably what I'm going to have to do here, because it's very tough. Like, you know, when they release characters during the celebration who are just, like, on, like, the good 200% leaders, and we can run them, that's fine. But, like, some of these World Tournament characters, dude, the showcases have been so hard because I can't run their teams. Like, I can't run their teams. Alright, guys, we are here in an event. I went to Twitter and got myself some Kale friends here. We're gonna need them for the Kale and the Khalifa. Funny enough, we've done a lot of Universe 6 character showcases over the last month or so. Alright, so we have Kale turn 1. We've got it right next to LR, Kale, and Khalifa. Let's go ahead and see how Kale is going to do. Let's start getting her some stacks. We'll let Kale, you know, get a bunch of super attack stacks in and kind of, like, see what she's going to get up to, right? Kale does eventually get an additional. There's a high chance to be a super, starting from the turn in which she does her 6th attack in battle. So we are going to need Kale to do a lot of attacks, a lot of supers, and build up quite a bit. Alright, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at our girl Kale here. So, Kale, of course, remember, is going to be a, you know, pretty effective support-type character at the very least, right? So Kale's super attack effect, she's stacking attack and defense and then lowers enemy defense. Again, remember, that's a 20% stack for the attack and defense. Her passive here, 160% attack and defense start a turn. She gives Universe 6 category allies 1 key and 40% attack and defense. She gives Pure Saiyan category allies 20% attack and defense. So she's giving the Universe 6 girls 60% attack and defense. Remember, that does not hit Kefla. Well, the full buff. You know, STR Kefla would only be getting, I guess it's still 40% attack and defense, which is decent. But the full 60%, that's only going to hit, like, the Kale and Khalifa cards. You know who that would hit, though, if we take a look at it? That would hit TEQ Kefla, this character, who they could easy 8 at any time. It would hit them, and they, of course, would have the very impressive 60% support. Then Kale gets an extra 160% defense, 70% chance to guard, and a guaranteed additional super if there's a Khalifa in the turn. Then she gets 60% attack and defense on super attack. Then she gets an additional, there's a high chance to be a super starting when she does her 6th attack in battle. We're up to 300k. Alright. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I mean, if we give her full dodge, sure. Like, she's gonna need to do so many super attacks in order for her to actually kind of, like, be ready to go here, right? Like, the amount of super attacks Kale's gonna have to do just for her to even be able to tank the big boss normals, I don't know, man. I mean, we typically do get craziness from the worldwide download celebration when it comes to, like, hard fights and stuff like that, too. We do really want to keep that in mind, so, alright, there's that. Here's a second super attack. Remember that the second one, of course, is guaranteed since we do have a Khalifa on the turn. No hidden potential system additional. Alright, well, next turn we'll be able to proc her 6th attack, which means we could potentially super 4 times next turn. Alright guys, so on this next turn, Kale, our link set here is Saiyan Lineage, Saiyan Warrior Race, Battlefield Diva, what is that, Solid Support, I believe, yep. Warriors of Universe 6, Tournament of Power, and then Shattering the Limit is the actual link set Kale's going to get up to. 394k defense, it's just, yeah, it's like, dude, like, these stacking characters, like, guys, it's just, I mean, I've said many times, right, when talking about, like, 23rd World Tournament Goku, that, like, 1,000,000 defense with guard isn't that big of a deal, like, when we're talking about him. But, I mean, that is at least able to handle a lot of the boss normals. But the way people talked about him, like, yeah, we get it. But the thing with that character specifically is he gets to 1,000,000 defense with guard after he gets hit 50 times and someone dies and you revive. Like, it's ridiculous to get there. Like, if, like, a free-to-play World Tournament support character is going to get to 1,000,000 defense with guard, I would consider that pretty good, but I don't know. Kale might struggle to get quite that high. Double normal, of course. I mean, here's the other thing, too, with these stacking characters like this. You know, we have, so basically, we get the 2 guaranteed supers, then we have then we get an additional 50% chance to be a super. We fail. And then there was the 4th, hidden potential system additional, and then it's a 50-50, we fail. I mean, that's the thing with these stacking characters, right? A lot of times, it's down to 50-50s for stacking. All right, let's get another turn, see what Kale gets up to. All right, guys, I might just make this the last turn. Maybe we'll do one more after this. I mean, we kind of see what Kale is. I mean, it's, you know, she has a 70% chance to guard, too. That's the other thing, right? As long as we're next to Caulifla. I don't know that the Caulifla restriction is that bad, because, like, let's say we're running a Universe 6 team. I mean, TEQ Caulifla is borderline invincible on, like, Universe 6. So, like, it's not like that's going to be so much of a struggle. And Kale is supporting. So, I mean, I feel like I could really find a reason to run characters when they're supporting. Support is just so good in this game. Like, I'll always be able to find a reason to do that. All right, let's see how many stacks we get from Kale right here. Let's see if Kale is going to guard as well. Again, remember that guard for Kale is a 70% chance. I don't know why she couldn't have just had guaranteed guard. Maybe they are scared to make free-to-play characters too good, but, like, bro, like, there's so many categories. Like, Kale is pretty restricted because she's a Universe 6 support that needs a Caulifla in the rotation. I feel like they could have made her guard guaranteed. Additional normal, good. Okay, super, sure. God damn it, man. Now what? Additional normal. I'm done. I'm out of here, man. She did guard, though. Bro, like, we're just going to do a video where it's just 2 supers and 2 normals every time. So what we're doing is we're consistently failing. So that's 4 50-50s we failed in a row. I'll do one more turn, but that's 4 consecutive 50-50s we failed for Kale's additional supers. All right, gamers, one more turn. Kale's at 593. Yeah, it's just, I'm seeing her stack up a little bit too slow. Maybe, I mean, you know, I'm just, you know, skill issue. I just suck at getting additionals. Sure, whatever. You guys just quad super every turn. I'm sure. But you know, I like it. Like, if she could get to, like, a much better defensive level a little quicker. I mean, with full dodge build, I mean, I could at least see myself using her as a support. Like, if we got, like, a Universe 6 character, like an LR Kefla or something like that, who was actually, like, you know, top 5 in the game level, maybe we could run this Kale additional normal again, failing every single... That's, what is that, 6 consecutive 50-50s? Or that was the 5th consecutive 50-50 failed. And then we don't even get the hidden potential system that time. Okay. Sure. Whatever, dude. Alrighty, guys. So we saw what Kale is able to do. I mean, here's the thing, right? She is at least the support with having some guard capabilities. You know, certainly could be a lot worse, right? So this right here, this is Ambition-Driven Power Kale. Leader skill is Super Attack Type Key 3 and 90% of stats. Passive skill, Strength to overcome tension. She gets 160% attack and defense at the start of turn. Universe 6 category allies get 1 key, 40% attack and defense. And then Pure Saiyan category allies get 20% attack and defense. So, of course, characters on both would get 60%, which would be really good for, you know, the individual Kale Khalifa cards. Kefla, unfortunately, remember, Dokkan is stupid. Doesn't put Vegito, Gogeta, Kefla on pure Saiyans, as dumb as it is. Gotenks gets to be on hybrid Saiyans. It's dumb. Then Kale gets 160% defense, 70% chance to guard, and a guaranteed additional super if there's a Khalifa in the same turn. With her stacking capabilities, that of course is very good. She gets she gets 60% attack and defense on super attack. Then she gets a guaranteed additional that has a high chance, a 50% chance of being a super, starting from the turn in which Kale does her 6th attack in battle. Her super attack is the Resist Blast, which gives her a 20% attack and defensive stack. She does supreme damage to the enemy, and then she lowers enemy defense. Links are the Saiyan Lineage, Saiyan Warrior Race, Battlefield Diva, Solid Support, Warriors of Universe 6, Tournament of Power, and Shattering the Limit. She, of course, has a 140% 12 key multiplier. In terms of the teams, remember, these are two 200% leaders here. Jiren, at the moment, of course, is not out yet, so we use Kale right there. Best linking partners, of course, we can take a look at it. I mean, Khalifa, not really too shocking there. Then in terms of Kale's categories, right? We can go ahead and take a look at that. So Kale, of course, is on the Peppy Gal team. I mean, we could try and do, some type of Peppy Gal shenanigans for, like, Battlefield Metal Cooler. Could work pretty well. Although, rotations, you would definitely want to make sure Kale and Khalifa were on rotation with each other if we try that. Then, Kale is also on the Universal Survival Saga. Can't wait. LR Jiren comes out tonight. Kale, of course, is also on the Pure Saiyan category team as well. Then Kale is on Universe 6. We have had quite a few Universe 6, free-to-play type characters and Easy Ace and stuff. I do wonder if we'll get hit in this calendar year as well. We did get the free-to-play hit. We definitely are ready for an LR hit, though, man, for sure. Then, Kale is also on the Rapid Growth category team. Sure. Kale is also on the Bond of Friendship category. We'll take that. Kale is on the Tournament Participants category. Very good. And then finally, Kale is on Super Bosses. Kale and Khalifa, of course, are Super Bosses characters. Super Bosses definitely come a long way. Jiren will help. We still need more, man. I don't know. We still need more. I mean, if the domains, didn't all overlap, that would buff the team a lot. Like, imagine we're able to have Transform Broly out, and then we had, Rose's domain for a while, and then we go into Fusion Zamasu's domain. It would help the team so much. I can only hope that the domain update will be a real thing, and it'll be good. Let me know what you guys think of World Tournament Kale. Thank you guys for watching. Mwah! And I'll catch you all next time.